Welcome, my friends. Always a pleasure to be with you. Happy New Year to those of you who I have not spoken to yet. Today, we're going to have some fun in studio. I kind of joke that studio is where the big dogs go, especially with all the version 5 drama. Well, we're going to go into SUNO Studio. We're going to start from scratch. We're going to give it a few seconds and we'll get rolling.
Morning light spills through the pane, soft as grace, it eases strain. You tilt your head, the corners rise, a quiet sun and quiet sky. Smile in motion, heart wide open, room to breathe like tides unbroken, breezing bright, the air's alive, energy that helps us thrive, giving me eternal peace. No grand words, just steady grace.
All right. Well, thank you for joining, my friends. Let's get straight into business. You were listening to some music that was created in a different tool. You don't heard of Toonie. It's an alternative tool that I use for those of you having palpitations, getting crazy, shivering in your shoes. You can try out some other tools. But I want to give some guidance on why I started looking more into studio. I started looking more into studio for this reason. I realized that if you want to stay high above the drama with artificial intelligence music, you'll probably be better off using studio if you're able. The reason is you're bringing in stuff that you created for sure. And I'm going to show you tonight. I'm going to bring in a vocal. I did a very quick vocal before I jumped on. I want to show you how you can build on that vocal from scratch. I'm going to show you how you need to shift stuff around in studio. I know it can be a headache right now, but I'm going to guide you through a process that will get you some pretty organic stuff. And I think by the time we're done, you will find studio to be an insanely awesome tool. I've been going more into studio lately, and I've discovered it's probably going to be my tool of choice to make things as organic and realistic as possible. So even though you might use generative content, the base is gonna be all you, okay? Well, let's jump straight in to SUNO Studio. Now, the first thing you do, like let's say you were on Create, for example, in a different world of SUNO, you got to navigate to Studio right here, okay? I'm going to take some time, more time than usual, because I don't want anybody to get lost. So I'm going to be expanding the screen, trying to talk a little bit slower, just so that nobody gets lost. All right, so over here, where you see Create, and I'm hovering over it, you may not see my mouse, but Create right here, that's where we are right now, and Studio is just right under it. Studio is where we want to go. Let's hit Studio. And Studio normally defaults to the last studio project that you had open. In this case, it goes straight to my untitled project. But if I wanted to do this from scratch, I can just click New Project. So let me just do New Project. So I just show you from scratch, right? Double click on Untitled, or just click once on Untitled and hit Rename, and just call it, I'm just going to call it No Fear, because that's the idea of the song. Okay. Then we have New Track. There are a number of things you could do. You could hit upload and you could upload a track. Or if you have a folder that you can go to, like I'm going to go straight to my desktop and I'm going to drag in No Fear straight onto the timeline. And that's the vocal that I did just before I jumped on. Okay, so I'm going to double click on this and I'll just call it fill vocal. All right. Oh, is my audio still low? Let me see if I can make that a little bit higher. Thank you for letting me know. Been experiencing some low audio for a while. Let's see if I can bump that up. It might have some background. Yeah, might have a little bit of background, but hopefully it's better. Is it better? Or should I go for this one? Can you hear me okay? Is that better? Let's see if I can use a different microphone. Oh, does that help? Does it? A bit? Just a bit? Let's try something else. Okay, perhaps this is a little bit better. I think it is. It's just that you're going to be hearing every click. It's extremely sensitive, this microphone. All right. Does that help? Oops. Does that help? Yeah? Wildly different? Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Cosmic Legend. So this is why I like feedback, because without feedback, you won't know if you are off track. So thank you very much for that. All right. So let's go back in here and take a look at what vocal we've got. This tool seems to be pretty intelligent because I didn't tell it was 80 beats per minute. But so it seems to know that it's 80 beats per minute. So let me explain what I've done here. I have a vocal that is very low. It's like almost bass / baritone. But what I did was I went into Order Me and I dropped my vocal in there and got a vocal on a higher octave. Okay, so this song is meant to be 80 BPM. So let's turn on the metronome. You can see down below, and make it bigger. You see down below over here, can you see metronome? And if you click on that, it gives you an option to either follow track or to use a manual BPM. Well, I know it's 80, so I'm just going to use 80 BPM. And I'm going to figure out how to move things on the timeline after, but this is 80 BPM. So I have a couple of vocal tracks. The first one is mine, and the second one is an Order Me vocal. The Order Me vocal is meant to be on a higher octave. So I'm going to bring that one in, and the vocal is from Ava. Ava is the vocalist for that one. So let's listen to it. Still rendering, it seems. Still uploading. All right, here we go. little bit stuck, it seems. Let me give it a kick with a refresh. Once in a while, these things happen. I've seen studio stall. Alright, so when I have the two vocals together, I have a lower and an upper. So I got these two vocals. That's going to be the bass. Now, if I put on the metronome, let's see. You can hear that metronome under. So I don't want it to begin, obviously, with the singing. I want it to give me like a robust introduction. So I'm going to move this to round about 9. So if you look at the top, let me make it bigger so you can see. You see at the top you have all these numbers showing you the count. So I want to move this to 9. Yeah, you can't. I'm not playing the music yet. I just played the oh, you didn't hear the vocals? Ah, well, thank you for letting me know that. Let me play that again. I love the feedback, Cosmix Legend. You are the boss in this one. I appreciate you. All right, let me go back to the beginning and play the vocals. Thank you so much. What would I do without Cosmix Legend on this live? Okay, here we go.
Fear is of the devil. Fear is nothing else.
So that's my original vocal with the Automie vocal kind of layered. So what I'm going to do is drag them to count number 9. You see 9 is right over there. So I'm going to hold down my control key and select both of them. Whoops, that didn't work. Or shift. Okay, I'm holding down shift and I'm moving them both. Let me do that again because I have to undo what I did. Okay. Shift key and drag them both to 9. So let's see.
Fear.
Okay, so I want them to start at 9. Those of you musicians, you know what that means, right? You allow 8 counts for an introduction. So this is where the fun begins in studio because all I've got is this vocal. All I've got is this vocal. So I'm going to add a track. So we click on add track right over here. See add track? All right. When you hit add track, it adds a track. I'm going to click and move. Oh, I added 2 tracks because I clicked it twice. So let me get rid of one. And let me just drag this one down. Track, or drag this one up. I want to keep those vocals together. So the new track, this is where the fun begins. We are going to make this drums. All right, hit rename. And let's bring it back to normal. Okay. Now, I'm going to collapse it by holding down the control key and I'm using the wheel on my mouse so that I can see more of the area. And then I am going to select one all the way down to maybe 57. I'm kind of painting. This is what I just call painting in SUNO, because when you're painting, you don't really know how everything is going to end up. You got a little idea, but not complete. Actually, let me do more, because you just never know with SUNO. You just never know what you're going to get. All right, so now I've got drums Right here at the bottom where it says song, we're going to click on that and we're going to select drums. Drums, drums, drums. Or percussion, except I'm dreaming. Oh, there we go. Drums is right at the top. Sneaky little drum kit. All right, there at the top we got drums. So I have drums selected. And under styles, I'm going to ask it to give me a reggae style. Reggae with punchy drums. I don't know if I should help it by telling it what key it's on, but it's usually able to detect the key. One of the things I found with this tool is it sometimes gives you instruments you don't want. So let me just say only drums, nothing else. Okay, and then go ahead and hit create. All right, so now it is rendering, it is thinking, it's doing its thing. I'm gonna make myself a little bit smaller and tuck myself away in the corner just so that you can see all that's going on. But right now we don't even have any keyboards, we don't have any guitars or bass, but we're just going for drums. And when it's done rendering, we're going to check it out. What I advise you to do is to layer piece upon piece. If I wanted to direct it a little bit more, I could have actually played some keys on top of it. But I want to paint from scratch today and see how well it's able to allow me to paint from scratch without giving it so much information. So let's check it out. Here's the drums. Okay, so this is lesson number 1, patience. Patience with SUNO Studio, because it's not quite getting it exactly on the beat, so I have to move the vocals.
Fear is of the devil. Fear is nothing else but false evidence.
So I know what it's trying to do, and I just got to expand the timeline so that I can move things around. This is where I would say it's for the insanely patient right now, because SUNO Studio is not exactly there with timing. But I've learned not to complain because the results are phenomenal when you're patient. So let me try and sync it.
Fear is of the devil. Fear.
Okay, let's move it just a bit. The way to move it is to hold down your control key and try and get it to where you are aiming. So let's try it again.
Fear is of the devil. Fear is nothing else but false evidence real. But false evidence real. No fear. No fear. He has saved me from all fear.
So it's almost there. It just needs a little nudging. And I'm going to try to move them both up a little bit. Let's see.
No fear, no fear. He has saved me from all fear.
A little bit too fast.
No fear, no fear. He has saved me from all fear.
Okay, so that's pretty much where the vocals need to be. Next step, I'm going to add a lead vocal to support these two. And in the same way, we're going to go to song after we highlight. Actually, you know what we should do? Probably highlight a larger section. And now we will hit song, vocals, and to guide it, we got to tell it what the vocals are. So let's click on any of these WAV files, scroll down, and let me get myself out of the way. Get myself out of the way to the top. Okay. So this is the verse. I'm just going to copy it like that, and then back to the vocal. We're going to see what we've got here. We're going to give it a prompt. I'm going to say lead vocal sung in an easy chill style with a reggae vibe. Okay, and then in the lyrics, this is where you want to paste the lyrics. Okay, hit done and hit the magic button to create. For those of us who are speed demons, and I'm a self-confessed, well, reformed speed demon, because when I got into SUNO Studio, I had issues with patience, patience in prompting for each instrument, until I began to realize that there is an insane amount of value doing it this way. At the end of the day, for those of you who are truly creative and have been able to bridle the speed demon, you'll be happy with the results, but it takes an insane amount of patience. Just like the drums gave me bass. I didn't want bass. But like I said, SUNO Studio isn't exactly there yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. All right, so this is another vocal, and why I like prompting SUNO to give me other vocal alternatives is I like hearing the ideas that it comes up with. Yes, it's my own song, but I really like SUNO's ideas. Okay. All right. So I hope it's all making sense. Feel free to chat in any questions. Be more than happy to respond. And again, a shout out to Comics Legend. Oh, I thought it was Cosmic. Comics Legend. Oh, you're a comic fan like me. Chat into me what comics you like. Are you a Marvel fan, or are you on the DC side? Or both? I like both, to be honest. Both are pretty cool. All right, let's check this out.
Fears of the devil. Fears nothing else but false evidence real. But false evidence real. No fear, no fear.
bad, Suno, not bad. Now, the idea is not to take it all the way to the nth degree, but I just want you to get the idea of what painting entails. It's an insanely vast amount of patience required for this kind of stuff, my friends. So next we're going to add a track, and this track we're going to attempt the classic reggae trombone sound. Trombones. You cannot do reggae without trombones and guitar for sure. So what I'm going to do is make the trombone stand out, especially in the beginning. This is what I love about SUNO Studio. You can get the generative AI to just give you ideas for the trombones in the beginning, nowhere else, or you could choose the places where you want to hear the trombones. It excites me, my friends, especially if you've been in the studio with horns players. You know what I'm talking about. You can ask them on demand to create, lines. Shout out to Claude Depper out in the UK, Harry Brown, Tony Kofi, all on my album Inventors of Our Time. Those guys, they are killer. They did big band horns on my tracks, and Claude wrote all those harmonies. It's just crazy just hearing my music transformed. So I've gone through that whole process with live players, and this is what SUNO kind of attempts to do. It may not be as pristine. Anyway, let me hit create. I tend to go down memory lane when I'm on these adventures because there are parallels in my life from being in the studio, and you see the beauty of SUNO Studio. It's truly like being in a studio. It's not like a microwaved bing, give me a song about, you're gonna have to sweat a little bit for it, and then it delivers something that you're pleased with, because every element is scrutinized, so you're truly in the producer's seat. Let's check it out. So do you know the mistake I made just now? I made a mistake by prompting it for trombones, but I had vocals and I had something else, obviously, because it's not done what I wanted it to do. So let's listen though. I don't mind that vocal. It doesn't sound bad for the beginning.
Fear is of the devil. Fear is nothing else but false evidence.
Okay. Well, I guess it's given me an idea for something else I could do. But again, we're going to go back to what we really wanted, which was trombones. And I got carried away. What was I thinking? All right, let's hit brass. And then we're going to say reggae styled trombones. Sliding up to the notes. Chill and relaxed. Hit done, and boom, of course there's no lyrics because it's an instrument. 10 credits gone, but SUNO has been very generous. Very, very generous. Now, when you create a song like this with the different elements, you pretty much are controlling the creative direction. You're more in the driver's seat. And if you're going to argue this on any level, your creative input is very evident as a director. But it's even more evident, like in the case of Sting versus Copeland and Summers. You're the writer. Sting, I don't know. I wish you the best. You and your buddies, they seem to be good guys, but Arguments happen even with humans. How much more with AI? Anyway, enough said. Let's play. Here we go. Yes, sir.
Fears of the devil. Fears nothing.
So for those of you with great ears and timing impeccability, you can hear it's a little bit off. But that's kind of like a live feel, right? A little bit off. The trombones are just a little bit late, just a bit.
Fears of the devil.
A bit early, actually.
Fears nothing else but false.
Okay. It was good up to a point, but I'm going to have to help it. So you can split the trombone by right-clicking, split. Now you have a piece you can move. You can hold down your control key and just move it up to where it should be. Let's listen.
Fears of the devil. Fears.
Okay. Actually, it's not completely bad. There we go.
Fears nothing else but false evidence real. But false evidence and real. No fear.
So, assuming I wanted to go with this lead vocalist, sounds pretty cool. I could unmute the Order Me vocal. I could send it to the right. So I got two singing here.
But false evidence and real.
And I can unmute my vocal and send it to the left.
But false evidence and real. No fear. No fear. He has saved me from all fear. No fear. No fear.
And here there's some timing things, tiny little fiddly things I could tidy up and move around, but for the sake of this live, I'll just keep it rolling.
No fear. No fear. He has saved me from all fear.
Okay, so something else I could do is just truncate everything from the top. So let me explain. So if I wanted this vocal to start from about 14 or 15, I could just tuck it in. I could hold down the control key so that it doesn't snap. You hold down the control key so it doesn't snap. And then these guys come in only on the chorus.
But false evidence and real. No fear.
So I want them to come in on No Fear. I'm just gonna hold down my control key and there you have it. Boom. Okay, so we got a couple of lead vocals. We got our trombones. I don't want to compromise the guitar, so we are going to add another track. Add track. And this is going to be guitar. And we're going to get it to start from the beginning. And hit song, guitar. And I'm going to say reggae styled rhythm guitar with occasional licks. All right, and hit create. And truly what you're doing is step-by-step production work. You do know that when all this adventure is over, for those of you who are curious, over here at the top we have an export button, and if you click on export, you can export the multi-track, which means all of the individual stems, and they'll all line up in your DAW, and you can cook the life out of this thing in your DAW. You can add new stuff from outside, you can add new instruments from outside, you can transform it. And just a cautionary note, I never ever use SUNO tracks exactly as is. Ever. I never use them exactly as is. Now, when I say I don't use them as is, I'm either going to engineer them a little bit more to make the master sound to industrial standard. One of the problems with SUNO tracks from version 5 is they have a kind of sound at the end, which is highly unprofessional. You do not want your tracks to have that, so you got to cut them. And then you want to also level up the frequency. Some of the frequencies are either too low or too high or just not evened. There's a curve you want them to have. And that's when, at a minimum, you take them into a DAW, you do things with isotope, or you might just do things with, you might put them in Lambda at a minimum. So I highly advise against using SUNO tracks as is. There's always an element of refinement needed, and actually from any DAW. I do this with any output from, any AI tool. Now this is kind of like a DAW, but I just mean any AI tool, right? Any AI tool, don't just use it as is, try to tidy them up. There's usually more, there's something you can do to it. And this is for folks who want to go that extra mile. Because I know a lot of folks just want to hit the microwave button and then the track comes out and they don't do anything with it. You just go release it. And majority of the people that listen won't hear, but some will. And it's just always better to do it as professionally as possible. If you don't know about it, that's cool. But the moment you do, you might want to start looking into that. Okay. Now, one of the other things that I've noticed with SUNO Studio is once you've got the core down, you got the vocals, you got the bass, you got the keys, now we're putting in the guitar. The other things that you want to see can be added without hesitation, without much hesitation. And what I mean by that is you can just go in and begin adding additional pieces where you think they would fit best. It could be a toss-up sometimes if you haven't heard what the last track you added is, but it's also a risk-taking kind of adventure. So I could add a track right now like this. Let's bring it down. I think I saw a chat from one of our friends. Serving My Redeemer, how you doing? Reggae style offbeat, steel drums, guitar and harmonica. There you go. There you go. Lovely. And honestly, you can, like a prompt that Serving My Redeemer gave me, you can take that stuff and you can just put it all in, and SUNO can give you an entire backing, so you don't have to add piecemeal. I just want you to know that the same way it gave drums and bass, you can just add a ton of stuff all at once. All right, now this guitar is really cooking the life out of this thing. It hasn't rendered any waveform just yet. Okay, so there's a few things I would like to see. So let me change this to, I want an organ in that spirit. And maybe just here in the beginning. It's a real crazy organ. So let's go ahead and choose keyboard. Is there organ here? Just keyboard. All right, so I'll just say organ with a swirling Leslie effect just at the beginning. So that shouldn't cause too much trouble, and I can always pan it off to the left. Okay, so an organ, a guitar, towards the midpoint where there's a break, just for demonstration purposes, let's go ahead and put in a sax. And the sax will come in around here, like that. Oops, like that. Yeah. So, song, woodwinds, and melodic minor blues. Let's see if it can give me a tenor sax solo right there. And you do know that you got all these options to change the colors just so they stand out and you know what's what. That guitar is still cooking. Oops. Not that. This one. Let's make this one yellow. Or this one. Yeah, the guitar is really taking its time. Still cooking, but it's coming. The woodwind seemed to be ready, and the organ seems to be ready. Okay. Hey, Beatology, my brother, how you doing? Good to see you coming through. Happy New Year to you. How are the adventures out there? How are the Crenshaw people doing? Hope it's nice out there. Hope you're doing well. I stumbled into one of your lives, man. That was I think that was on the 31st or the 1st. I was pleasantly surprised to see you killing it in StreamYard. So shout out to you, my brother. Well done. Tell me what's new. Tell me something new. Okay, here we go. Seems like my audio from the SUNO is in need of a kick. Huh. Let me do a refresh. See if that helps kick it into common sense. Because I ain't hearing it. Huh. Can you guys hear it? No, because I can't hear it. So there's definitely something up with my audio. Let's see. Or something up with Studio. Definitely something up with Studio. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. Let me try just panic. Okay, so YouTube is fine. But Studio seems like I might have hit something that I'm not aware of. Huh. Okay, let me go back to just regular create mode and troubleshoot this. Seven, my Redeemer says, being a poet for years and SUNO is turning mere words on a page into wow moments. Absolutely. Bitoji says, how do you get those moving backgrounds? Oh, so in StreamYard, you got a video section. So you got to click video, and then you got to actually upload the videos to StreamYard. So that's working. But Studio has gone rogue for some reason. I'm figuring out Discord as we speak, my brother. I need to revisit it again. But, okay. So this must be an error. But where from? Where's the error coming from? This is very, very interesting. Does anyone know what the problem could be? Any in-house experts? I'm supposed to be the expert. But this defies me. I have no idea what's going on. So there is sound, but
Of the devil.
so I just guessed. This is quite interesting because I just guessed that this guitar track that's been trying to render for past 10 minutes was the problem. The moment I muted the guitar track, the sound came back. So I got to delete this. This is a rogue track, and actually it's interesting to see what happened, what unfolded here, because that's very, very, very strange indeed. All right, let's delete it. Let's play. Okay. So again, back to my point of patience, friends. You just got to be patient using this thing. All right, let me use the same prompt here. And let's try again, just in this tiny little section. Yeah, it just shows you that these errors in software, they happen all the time, and you just gotta muscle through it. Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, on StreamYard, it's got the ability to upload an MP4. So you can upload an MP4 with a moving background, or you can upload a PNG. But when you upload an MP4, just make sure that it loops, because I know you've been dabbling into the likes of what do you call it, Sora. So you can actually use Midjourney to get a perfect loop. Midjourney will give you a perfect loop. Yeah, you can actually get an image first in Sora and then get some motion in Midjourney. All right, let's check it out and see if the guitar came through.
Fears, nothing else. He has saved me from all fear. No fear.
So that guitar is going a little bit rogue. You got to get it under control. The reason why you want to do this in Studio before you export it to a DAW is you will have the same trouble in your DAW. So it's better to just resolve it here once and for all. When you move them into the DAW, they'll behave themselves.
Of the devil. Fears, nothing else but false evidence real. But false evidence and real. No fear, no fear. He has saved me from all fear. No fear, no fear. He has saved me from all fear. Ooh.
All right, so I'm going to fade this saxophone out gradually, and I'm going to bring in the master toaster. We're going to bring in the master toaster, the toaster man. Okay, let's rename. And let's think about a theme. So, okay, I got some chats in. Canva. Okay, thank you at Serving My Redeemer. Appreciate that. I'm glad you were able to check that out on the members section, and I hope to bring you folks more stuff like that. So I also saw another question about can't we do the videos in Sora? You could, but the truth about Sora's video, especially Sora 1, not the new Sora, the old Sora is not that great. The old Sora has got issues. The video is not as great as new Sora. New Sora is crazy. It's really, really good. Old Sora with the video, it's a toss-up. You gotta kind of brace yourself for some of the worst video, like the original AI slop. I'm sorry, but yeah. When people say AI slop, they'll have a field day if they go through some of the Sora videos. Now, if you're patient, you can get some good Sora videos on the old one, but from what I've experienced, it's kind of like a toss-up. So what we're going to do next, my friends, we're going to put some reggae-styled vocals and toast. Styled toast. Okay, and then I'm gonna give it some ideas of what it can say and just hope for the best. Now, I have friends who do this for a living. They do it like really, really well. But since I don't have them, we're gonna see if Sora can SUNO, I beg your pardon, can work something out for a patois toast. Hopefully it can towards the end of the song. But yeah, and there's some really, really great artists. Shout out to, I believe it's Little Lion. Really great artists on that label. Don't know where they are, but they sound really, really good and authentic. So let's see what we can get from this SUNO prompt. Let me see what else I missed. Hey, Ruler 42. Ruler 42. Let's get started on that. My goodness, talk about the latency. So the two things with the latency in studio, not only is it distracting, it's also uncontrollable in that when you're recording into SUNO, let's zoom in. When you're recording into SUNO Studio, like you would have to activate the track and do all that stuff. But then the real problem that I've found is you cannot hear the output. You know, like with a regular DAW, you can choose to hear your output along as you're recording. And I'm not saying that every DAW is bulletproof. It really depends on your system and a lot of other parameters, the mic and so on. But if you are recording vocals or keys or anything into SUNO directly, yeah, you got to be prepared for the latency. There's some really interesting latency. But again, what I typically do is this one thing. This is the one thing that has helped me. This one thing down here called a metronome. So if the metronome is on, you're able to hear the count. And I typically would do, clap to the metronome so that I'm hearing it in my headset, I'm singing, and all I do once I'm done is move the first few claps to the metronome, and that usually takes care of it. So it's like a firefight. You gotta just tactically explore each obstacle and try to overcome it. But you're very correct. The latency is not cool. In SUNO. So Beatology said yes, absolutely. So you can create a video in SUNO, although so far what I've done is I've done a placeholder video, and I've also done a lyrics video, but I haven't done an all-out musical video. I'm yet to explore that in SUNO if it exists. What I typically do is I use Hedra and some of the other tools. All right. What else did I miss? Seven My Redeemer says, what about when certain words in lyrics require phonetic? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what about when certain words in lyric requires a phonetic scripting, otherwise SUNO mispronounces the word? Entire tune and melody is perfect, but that last word gets mispronounced. Yes. So if that's the case, you're going to have to reprompt and then spell out phonetically as much as possible. Yeah. All right. So let's listen to this.
Can't prosper at all when you hand it on me. Me now stumble.
Okay, so I know what confused it. It's not bad. I'm going to check out the second option. So just so you know, those of you who have not been in here very much, every track that SUNO renders has a couple of options. So if I click on the +1, I can see the 2 takes. See that? And it seems like I only have, okay, I do have 2 takes for this. So let's listen to both takes. Let's just play that piece right here. Okay, it's coming.
No fear in me heart, Jah light lead my way. Chains them broke off, see me rise every day. What them send for harm can't prosper at all when Jah hand upon me. Me not stumble nor fall from darkness to dawn. My spirit stand tall, fear run left the scene when righteousness call. Me walk with courage, truth guard my breath. Delivered and free, my life louder than death. Hey.
Okay, that wasn't bad. Let's listen to the second take. Here we go.
No fearing on me heart, Jah light lead my way. Chains them broke off, see me rise every day. What them send for harm can't prosper at all. When Jah hand upon me, me nah stumble nor fall. From darkness to dawn, my spirit stand tall.
So I don't know if you notice very subtle difference between the first and the second is pretty much just a piano lick that I heard. The waveforms are very similar. It's not bad. The only problem, this is another good lesson. Because I had the saxophone overlapping, it seemed to want to use the saxophone as reference to know what to toast or the melody to use, and I didn't want it to use the sax melody. So I am going to mute that. I'm going to add another track. I'm going to use exactly the same prompt. So I'm going to take my lyrics and another vocal track here. Toast to, and vocals. There we go. And yep, that's it. And let's just go like that. Okay. I think we got it. Hit create. And let's give it some time. In the meantime, let me check out the organ and see what it did. I really didn't pay much attention to the organ. So it's a little bit off, as you can hear. You know, this is where a lot of the patience comes in. You gotta be patient with SUNO Studio. See, it's a little bit off. Okay, let's listen to what's really going on there, because I'm hearing some additional interruption. Like it's not just an organ. It's not bad, actually.
Fears of the devil, fears nothing else but false evidence.
So that wasn't bad, although it has another chink chink, which I wasn't looking for that. I just wanted an organ. This is how sometimes I take the entire thing out into a DAW and I can make those embellishments myself by playing it myself. There we go. Much better.
Fears of the devil, fears nothing else but false evidence real, but false evidence and real. No fear, no fear. He has saved me from all fear. No fear, no fear. He has saved me from all fear. Ooh.
Well, obviously, something went off the beaten path there. I have no idea why it decided to change key. That is very interesting. So let me see what happened. Wow. It went rogue. Okay. Let's delete that and let's continue. I think what happened, actually, let me explain this to you just so you understand the context. This is very interesting. So remember when I was trying to get things right, it appears that I might have nudged the drums transpose numbers. You see these numbers on the right? These numbers can either transpose the music or you can speed it up. So you can have double speed or half speed. Seems like the speed or the transpose went rogue for a second there. So if I take it back to 0, but if the vocal, oops. All right. Okay. I'm going to have to jump off very, very soon. But I'm hoping you could still hear me. I went off the track for a second. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Hoping you can. So actually this was a user error, and it's probably because I nudged something. I don't know what I hit, but I might have hit something in the process, but at least I need to correct it.
At all when Jah and upon me, me now stumble nor fall from darkness stood on me. Spirit stand tall, fear run left the scene when righteousness call me. Walk with courage, truth guard my breath, delivered and free my life louder than death.
All right, that wasn't bad. So addressing what happened is a very simple problem. If you have your clip selected and you hit this button or you clicked on this button, somehow it's just going to go off key. You see what I'm saying? That transpose is there for a reason, right? But if you hit it inadvertently, see that? It just sounds totally off because it is off. This is on, I think we did this on E minor. So if I hit transpose 3 times, then I'm no longer on E minor. I am now on F. I'm now on G minor, which is just horrendously different. It's not even that close. So it just stuck out like a sore thumb. So it wasn't bad. The toast wasn't bad.
No fear na me heart, Jah light lead me way. Chains them broke off, see me rise every day. What them send fi harm can't prosper at all when Jah hand upon me. Me nah stumble nah fall from darkness to dawn me. Spirit stand tall, fear run left the scene when righteousness call me. Walk with courage, truth guard my breath, delivered and free my life louder than death.
That's funny. The band decided to transpose midsection. They want to go to a higher level. All right. Just kidding. All right. So let's chop this off. Chop this off. Boom. We're done. That's it. And what you could do is just hit export and just take the multi-track out. Go into the land of your DAW. Go crazy in your DAW. Add more stuff. Add more harmonies. Because, I would have loved to add some oohs and ahs. Some interjections with vocals. Like, you've heard Bob Marley. You know how his vocalists get down. Those folks were just supreme when it came to background vocals. The art of background vocals in reggae. Go take a lesson from Bob. Just absolutely incredible. So I would have liked to do some stuff like that. But this is really just to illustrate how you paint in SUNO Studio. I think SUNO Studio is one of the most underrated tools in this whole generative AI world, because as you can see from my demonstration here, it was built from scratch. Okay, I know there's a lot of sentiment and a lot of emotions, around the data, that was used to train SUNO and such. But as a musician, you have more control over your creation when you come into SUNO Studio than version 5. I could take what I've done. I could do export full song. Watch this. Export full song, because I want to show you SUNO's versatility. The SUNO is getting a lot of hate these days because of, its alliance. But anyway, you see right here on the screen, it says no fear was saved to your library. Let's click on that. I'm going to go to my library. So this is no fear, right? I'm going to go back to create. So over here in create, I've got no fear. Let's see. I can remove the ability to remix this, which you should for your songs. Otherwise, who knows who's going to end up remixing your tracks. But I'm going to hit these 3 dots and I could do a remix. See that? Remix, cover. So this is a song that we just did, right, in SUNO Studio. But now I'm coming into SUNO version 5 and I am remixing it. I could do all sorts of things from this point on. I could actually, let's see. I don't think it's gone the lyrics yet, but I could do the lyrics normally appear, but nowhere to be found. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do a different style. Let me do a persona just for giggles. Persona, I'm going to use Lorna, one of my personas, and thinking I might just use, I'm just going to leave the lyrics blank. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't get lost. But I'm going to crank up the audio influence. So if I wanted to do it like a neo soul version of the same song, I could okay, no fear, neo soul. I've shown you folks how to do this before, so this is really just for the benefit of those that haven't seen it. But you can work a song up to a point in studio, and then you can bring it into Beatology, you're funny. Oh dear. Okay. You could bring it in, like I said, to version 5, and then you can just do covers of it in different styles. It's kind of fun.
but together choose nothingness.
So it's speaking gibberish because I didn't give it the lyrics, but that's okay. But you kind of get the idea.
Together.
It's speaking gibberish. But I hope that helps show you what you can do with SUNO. Absolutely incredible tool. SUNO Studio, very underrated. Even perhaps I'm as guilty as everyone else who has, not given SUNO Studio its props, because it's a very, very solid tool that brings out a lot of creativity. It makes you think, makes you take calculated steps as opposed to just hitting the button just like you saw me do just now. I just said, do me a cover. Very little regard, but a lot of the work has already been done on the back end, if you get what I'm saying. Okay? No shade on version 5. Version 5 is great. But I think Studio is more amazing, even with the kinks and not being able to line up stuff on point. Yeah, it has its faults, but I think the greatness far outweighs the faults. So I guess I'm a reformed Studio user, because in the beginning I was moaning and grumbling, why doesn't it line up? I wasn't happy about that, but if one can be patient, one can get insane results from Studio. All right, that's the end of my my little rant there about SUNO Studio. Again, this is all just my interpretation, my perspective. I, don't work with SUNO at all, which is why sometimes I'm brutally, critical about SUNO, and other times, you get the other side, because there's always the downsides and the upsides. I don't think there's any other tool in the world that comes close right now to SUNO Studio. In fact, there's none. Yeah, I've put Moises in. Oh, thank you, Serving My Redeemer. Appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, you see the clarity? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. So, I'm glad you found it useful, and I hope it gives everybody an idea of what you could get out of SUNO by doing a number of things, doing a combination of things, trying out some stuff in Studio, and let's not forget where it all started from. Let me go back to the very, very beginning, because it all started from this vocal. This original vocal, where is it? No fear, no fear. And then I coupled that with the Automie vocal, and we had just those two in the beginning and nothing else. And we just built from these two. No fear. And we just built from there. So it was fun. It was a fun adventure. It might be more challenging to do this with some other styles, but you could start with drums, you could start with bass, you could start with keys, and you could just keep building as you go along. Okay. All right, my friends. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate all of you for coming through. Oh dear, I like your interpretation of toast. Very, very, very cool. All right. Does anyone have any questions that you want me to answer? Because I love to answer questions. Anything else you want me to talk about? Time right here is 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:24 to be precise. If I know what's good for me, I should go get some shut-eye. All right. In the absence of questions, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for coming through. Those who were not able to stay till the end, hopefully you'll catch the replay, and this will give you some ideas on how to use SUNO Studio. I went extremely slow today for sure. I was not a speed demon. Shout out to Comic Legends for letting me know about the clarity of the vocal in the beginning, that you couldn't hear what I was saying. Thank you so much for that. Shout out to my buddy Beatology, Serving My Redeemer. Thank you so much for the super chat there. And also our friend who came through in the beginning to talk about latency. Who was that? I saw that chat in the beginning. Ruler42, yes. Thank you, Ruler42. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. It's very important we talk about the latency. Very important. Okay. All right, my friends. I'll take us out with a jam one more time. And maybe, just maybe, you'll see this in one of my releases. Maybe on a future date. All right, let's go.
But together, choose nothingness. What false evidence film? What false headed onto stream? By fear, you have saved me from a fear. Save me from a fear. Porridge to your neck back, deliver more feel love loaded than it. More fear, I fear. You have saved me from my fear.
Fears of the devil, fears, nothing else.